All right, YouTube, what's going on? Matt Kennedy here. Welcome to a special edition video going over the pre-draft for the franchise database. There's really not much more to go over than going like in the game details, but the database really gives you pretty much 85% of what you need to know. The only problem is the ages don't pop up, and age is very important on franchise. For all you Ultimate Team fans out there, there's really not much more to talk about until we get more information. And you guys already know, doing that tailgate stream, 9 a.m. on Thursday. I'll be there Eastern time as long as the game drops at noon. If it's not dropping at noon, just take the time drop and then minus 3 hours. We're streaming 3 hours for the game drops. Okay. But we do run a franchise. I am a commissioner. Second year running it. We are full. If you are interested, join the Discord in the description of this video or my YouTube bio, and then join the wait list on the Discord tab. Okay. We are full though for this draft. So the first thing I want to point out are running backs, and we're going over only offense in this video because I want to give every position some love, but we are going to do offensive line as a whole. So in all honesty, it's really difficult to go over the whole, offense, defense. It's probably going to be offense 10, 12 minutes, defense 10, 12 minutes. So expect defense to drop tomorrow. So going over offense, running backs are first. Speed is always so important for a running back, for that breakaway speed, whatever. And also it's more a matter of it's not just speed, but when you look at they call it by contradiction. If I contradict myself and say, okay, speed does not matter, then go out there and have an 89 speed running back. See how that goes, right? So yeah, speed's not everything, but it's so nice. So some top tier speed players that are very young are Keaton Mitchell and Bashan Tatan. These guys, even Gibbs, but obviously he has abilities. Just trust me on that one. So he has 95 speed. I can see Gibbs with only being 23, 24. I can literally see him going literally in a top 2 round, just because the guy literally is so well-rounded, so young, should not really regress till year 5, if anything. Which, by the way, we do 5 seasons in this franchise, so 4 off seasons. So take everyone's age, add 4 years. That's what we do here. We have 3 games a week for Sims. We can't really do anything more than 3 games a week because of people's availability, Ultimate Team, respecting other games' playtime, Fortnite, NBA, MLB, whatever. So, college football. So what I'm going to say though is, again, you want to factor in the overall matters in these players, but for example, Vis Jones. I have no idea who this guy is. Let's see Siri here. Vis Jones Jr., NFL player age.
Here's what I found.
So Vis Jones, he is a running back this year, but it shows on Google he used to be a receiver. He is around 27 years old. So even though he has 94 speed, it's pretty glitchy. Obviously, it's just not going to work out because he's already at the brink of regression, being 27 plus for running backs. In my opinion, once you're 27 plus for a running back, you're prone to a little bit of shaving off of, some wear and tear of regression. Regression, progression are very important in franchise, but that's not part of the video's, expertise. So again, in terms of running back, I see, 210, he's a rookie for the Jaguars this year at 95 speed, pretty good overall. If I had to guess, he is a few overall above Cam Ward. He really should be star dev at least, to really have those kind of numbers and that overall for a rookie. He's literally only 3 overall behind Mason Graham. I mean, you would think he would be, right? So I see him being an S tier grab, Jahmyr Gibbs being S tier grab. Saquon Barkley, he's a 99 with great speed. I see him being an S tier grab because you'll still get 3 out of the 5 years, of the franchise, of him really being S tier. And then years 4, years 5 after he regresses, yeah, I mean, he might be more of an A tier than an S tier, but still those first 3 years are just, just dominant. That's really what running backs are. Go through, your own things, what you want to do there. But now we're going to go over our favorite quarterbacks. So I do want to filter by abilities first. Well, actually, you know what? Yeah, we'll do abilities first because that is kind of what matters. Like when you look at players in franchise, do you have abilities? Do you not have abilities? Those are things that we look at. And for running backs, there are a whopping 14. But when you look at the abilities for running backs, some of the youngest ones are going to be like Ken Walker, Kyron Williams, James Cook. Ken Walker's around 27 to 26, so he's not like the youngest, but he's still like worth it. Bijan, McCaffrey, I think is just like he's too slow for me for my liking at 90 speed. And also, again, he's definitely around 27, probably 28 by now, 28, 29. So he is definitely someone who is definitely on the brink of regression. Derrick Henry, same thing. You're going to get probably two solid years from him. But now that he's 30 or over 30, probably 30, he is someone who you really just can't count on, going forward. He's only going backwards every year. Going to the quarterbacks now, which are also very important here. There are a whopping 12 that have abilities. The problem is, though, there's easily, in my opinion, the top 6 quarterback picks should be Josh, in any order. It should be the X factor quarterbacks. You get more abilities. They're all not like super old, like a 38-year-old Rodgers or a 38-year-old Breeze in previous years, or, a 38-year-old Tom Brady who can only be 2 years, probably max, for retirement. All of these guys are under 30 years old. And in all honesty, Daniels really should be, in my opinion, the first one to go. Just because that you're going to have like zero regression for the whole franchise. And also, the guy literally is already he's at least an A-tier player. You're an 85-plus quarterback in the league. And you have X Factor. You're the second fastest. So, yeah, you might not be where these guys are. Well, really, Hurts is 86 overall. So, really, he's definitely better than Hurts, in my opinion, for age. But they're all righties, they're all great. I see those guys going top 20 unanimously, in the draft. If anything, top 15 unanimously. And then superstar in general, quarterbacks are sought after because abilities versus no abilities. Even if you have just superstar like Dak Prescott, yeah, he sucks, or Brock Purdy. They're both. For Dak Prescott, it's more age. He's now above 30. But the problem is he still has an inside dead eye, sideline dead eye maybe. Yeah, it's not a gunslinger. Yeah, it's not, or not that dashing dead eye. Yeah, it's not hot route masher or something, overpowerful. But the dead eyes help his accuracies to make most of his throws, if not almost all throws, in the pocket without pressure. So that's kind of my thought on quarterbacks. I got picked 32 last year. I was the Broncos. I went double safeties for the safety shortage of abilities, being an end round pick. I let everyone else draft and then see what was left. But for me this year, I hope I get a top 5 pick and I get a Josh Allen, Lamar. That way, your round 1 pick is a 5-year contract, so you will never have to extend a quarterback's contract. You will always get it for that $12.5 million value, which is really good value in a quarterback, $12 million a year. So understand, whatever you draft first round, they're getting $12 million a year. So that or pass rushers are the 2 most expensive contracts. Given that you don't draft that player first round, you are almost guaranteed having at least one extension in the franchise's reign. Other good quarterbacks that are star dev are like Bo Nix, Drake May, but again, they're all good, right? Even Cam Ward for that matter. He'll be a nice rookie, 7 overall, decent. But the problem is, these players are going to be star dev, and you have to earn the dev game, the stats progression, whatever. So that's kind of my thought. I could really see the last quarterback with abilities here being drafted being Brock Purdy. He's the slowest of these bunch, and he has the lowest throw power, 86 of this bunch. Unless Jalen Hurts has 85 throw power. Nope, 86. So he is tied lowest throw power, I believe, with Burrow. And, Burrow might have like 84 throw power. They really screw him over. He has 80. Okay, they buffed him a little bit. He used to have 86, bro. All right. So let's go over like just in general tight ends. Okay. So tight ends, in my opinion, again, it's really abilities versus everyone else. It's kind of how I view these players in all honesty. Because like, let's be honest here. If we're kind of going over and breaking down the echelon players of, hey, within the ability bunch, who stands out. Because take away abilities like you're a star or normal dev, it's common sense. It's age, it's height, it's speed, like some other stats. Like that's more common sense. You see 9 players with abilities, X Factors. Which one stands out to me? That should be like these top 3, 4-round players. So Kelsey should be, in my opinion, the last one to go out of all of these because he is definitely going to regress. He's now, what, like 36, whatever. How old is Travis Kelsey here on Siri? Travis Kelsey age.
Travis Kelsey is 30.
So he's 35. You're going to get probably, really only one great year and then maybe like 2 good years, and then he's retired. I don't see him going, all 5 seasons like in the league. And if he is, he'll be like, definitely like a normal dev player. Or at least he should be in the game. I would say with tight end speed, you're not gonna see a big speed advantage besides Brock Bowers. It's Brock Bowers and then everyone else. Everyone else has like 86, 87 speed. That's like expected. Like for like a really good tight end had that speed. I honestly feel like with age reasons though, Brock Bowers and McBride and then even Laporta are your top 3 for age. I would say from that group, Laporta and McBride around the same age. Bowers obviously the youngest. I could really see Bowers going in round 1. Just because like I believe, Bowers, I believe he just has that idea of, hey, look, I already have X Factor, so I get that extra 4th ability for like run protector for better run blocking. I can also do a short elite, not short elite, short in for a dev cancellation or a deep or whatever. I can do a route tech for better route running, whatever. I really see that being an advantage. But definitely a later round pick, a later, round 1 pick. But it is really nice knowing that you have your tight end for the rest of the franchise, and that's what Brock Bowers does for you. So definitely an end round 1. A round 2, Brock Bowers is a steal. And that's why a late round 1 pick's not that bad. 'Cause you have Snake, you could pick him round 2, pick 5, which at that point is really a late first. Like looking at it. Let's go over the receivers and then we'll go over the O-line and be done this video here for time reasons. So for the wide receivers here with abilities, I think a first round pick is going to be Travis Hunter. He's not listed here, but if he is a dual threat, he has 94 speed or I think it's 93 speed. But when you look at speed, 93 speed plus is, in my opinion, A tier. So like you have a really good speed. S tier speed is like your 94 plus speed, which not many people have 94, only exactly like Metcalf, Nico Collins. So looking at these players, who is round 1 worthy? I would definitely say, Chase and Jefferson are up there. If they go to round 2, that's a really good round 2 pick. Definitely Chase over JJS for that speed. St. Brown's a little bit slower, so he'll definitely be a round 2 end, if not round 3. He will not go to round 4, I think. I think Tyreek Hill should really not go in the round 1. He's just too old at this point, and he's only going to go down and down and down from there. CeeDee Lamb's a little bit too slow, kind of like St. Brown. McLaurin is really good, I think. The guy is, probably around 28 now. I still see him having like 3 great years, and then 2 still good years. London's too slow. Nico and Nakoa are great. Neighbors is phenomenal with that 96 speed. I could see him being round 2. I think round 1's a reach. Unless you just want that, hey, I have a nice plus receiver to go deep, But again, that's more your scheme. That's part of a scheme-driven move there if you like deep passes. Brian Thomas with 97 speed with abilities. I could see him being probably more of a round 1 than Neighbors. They're both 6'3"-ish. But that 97 plus speed, he literally is the second fastest probably in the entire game. But let's, not entire game, like for the receivers, let me check non-ability receivers. Just because, in all honesty, ability receivers matter for this video, for route tech and other stuff. But like when you filter it by speed, there really is, a dime a dozen in terms of like that 94 plus speed. There's literally like for example, even this guy named Jalen Lane. I'm not really sure how old he is. He could be a veteran that I never heard of, or it could be a young rookie. To have 94 speed, and be in the 70s overall, you are a usable receiver. You will get separation, and given that you're not super, super old, or a player like, let's just name another player here, Adonai Mitchell. He's he was the youngest player yet last year in the NFL. He's what, like 21, 23 now. He's not going to regress the whole franchise. Him, Trey Tucker's pretty good 95 speed. So, McCole Hardman, he's older, but still, some of these players, Xavier Worthy with 99 speed. That's why I said a receiver round 1 is really tough to justify because there's just a dime a dozen, just like in real life. But I respect what you do. And if you have a late round 1 pick, you're not going to have a pick, and then you have a round 2 pick. You're not going to pick for over 50 picks because of the way Snake goes. You might want to pick a receiver then round 2 early if you want an S tier receiver, and that's what you value in this league. The last thing I'll say is offensive line. I hope this video is helping you guys here. So offensive line is going to be all of these here. So center and then right. And we are going to go off of offensive lineman, I think, with abilities only. Because, again, without abilities, really just, how young are you? It's all that matters for the regression factors. So let's go ahead and go overall. And I do want to see, there's no X factors. So let's do all abilities. There's no X factor lineman out there. So there are only 16 linemen that are here. Obviously, old guys like Ronnie Stanley, Wyatt Teller, they should not be going, super high end. Same with Trent Williams. Even Lane Johnson should not even be, in my opinion, a top 3 round pick because the guy literally is, 35 years old. So maybe 36. So trust me, he's only going to really have maybe even 3 years and he retires. You just don't know. So Sewell or Sewell should go, in my opinion, top 3 round guaranteed. A top 2 rounds more of a reach, but I could see why you would do it. Tackles are the most important over any other one. Creed Humphrey is also the only center with abilities. So for that reason, I could see him going top 5. But again, justifying offensive linemen in even your top 3 round picks, those are really your cornerstone players of your franchise. And to really do it over an offensive lineman, it's really hard to justify. In real life, yes. In Madden, no. O-linemen do not play that well in this game. But again, edge protector is really the only way to nerf or counter these double edge threat schemes. People will come at you for pass rush. So I hope this video really helped in some way, shape, or form. It was 19 minutes, I guess, but at the end of the day, it had to happen. So this is my franchise overall, reveal for offense. I guess it was a 20-minute video. There's really no way to go over every offensive position and go over the ability, speed, whatever, without it being about 15, 20 minutes. So defense is next. Thanks for your time. Take care. Peace.